The transport system of Finland is well developed. The extensive road system is utilized by most internal cargo and passenger traffic. As of 2010, the country's network of main roads has a total length of around 78,162 kilometers and all public roads 104,161 kilometers. The motorway network totals 779 kilometers with additional 124 kilometers reserved only for motor traffic. Road network expenditure of around €1 billion is paid with vehicle and fuel taxes that amount to around €1.5 billion and €1 billion. The main international passenger gateway is Helsinki-Vantaa Airport with over 13 million passengers in 2007. About 25 airports have scheduled passenger services. They are financed by competitive fees and rural airport may be subsidized. The Helsinki-Vantaa-based Finnair, Blue One and Fincom Airlines provide air services both domestically and internationally. Helsinki has an optimal location for Great Circle routes between Western Europe and the Far East. Hence, many international travelers visit Helsinki on a stopover between Asia and Europe. Despite low population density, taxpayers spend annually around €350 million in maintaining 5,865 kilometers railway tracks even to many rural towns. Operations are privatized and currently the only operator is the state-owned VR. It has 5% passenger market share and 25% cargo market share. Helsinki has an urban rail network. Port logistics prices were among the lowest in OECD. Vuosaari Harbour is the largest container port after completed in 2008. There is passenger traffic from Helsinki and Turku, which have ferry connections to Tallinn, Mariehamn, Sweden and several other destinations. Roads. Road transport in Finland is the most popular method of transportation, particularly in rural areas where the railway network does not extend to. As of 2011 there are 78,162 kilometers of public roads, of which 51,016 kilometers are paved. The main road network comprises over 13,329 kilometers of road. Highways. 64% of all traffic on public roads takes place on main roads, which are divided into Class 1 and Class 2 main roads. Motorways have been constructed in the country since the 1960s, but they are still reasonably rare because traffic volumes are not large enough to motivate the construction. There are 863 kilometers of motorways. Longest stretch is a Helsinki-Turku, Helsinki-Tampere, Helsinki-Heinola, and Helsinki-Hamina. The world's northernmost motorway is also located in Finland, between Keminmaa and Tornio. There are no toll roads in Finland. Speed limits change depending on the time of the year. The maximum speed limit on motorways is 120 km per hour in the summer and 100 km per hour in the winter. The main roads usually have speed limits of either 100 km per hour or 80 km per hour. Speed limits in urban areas range between 30 km per hour and 60 km per hour. Finland, like most other European countries, has right-hand traffic vehicles. As of 2010, there are 3,368,188 automobiles, of which 2,877,484 cars in Finland, giving a total of 627 automobiles per 1,000 inhabitants. Public transport coaches are mainly operated by private companies and provide services widely across across the country. There is a large network of express bus services with connections to all major cities and the most important rural areas, as well as a burgeoning on-a-bus cheap bus network. Coach stations are operated by Matkahuolto. Local bus services inside cities and towns are often tightly regulated by the councils. Many councils also have their own bus operators, such as Tampere City Transit, which operates some bus lines on a commercial basis in competition with privately owned providers. Regional bus lines have been regulated by the provincial administration to protect toll transit companies, leading to cartel situations like TLO in the Turku region. But strong regional regulating bodies, like the Helsinki Regional Transport Authority, whose routes are put out to tender, exist as well and will become the norm after the transitional period during the 2010s. Parking. Municipal Law 3031 section gives right to referendum since year 1990. Citizens of Turku collected 15,000 names in 1 month for referendum against the underground car park. Politicians within the election's unknown financing from the parking company neglected the citizens' opinion. According to International Association of Public Transport (UITP), parking places are among the most effective ways to promote private car use in the city. Therefore, many European cities have cancelled the expensive underground car parking after the 1990s. The EU recommended actions cover developed guidance for concrete measures for the internalization of external costs for car traffic, also in urban areas. In Finland, the shops routinely offer free parking for private cars. Railways. The Finnish railway network consists of a total of 5,919 kilometres of railways built with 1,524 millimetres. 3,072 kilometres of track is electrified. In 2010, passengers made 13.4 million long-distance voyages and 55.5 million trips in local traffic. On the same year, over 35 million tons of freight were transported. Passenger trains are operated by the state-owned VR Group. They serve all the major cities and many rural areas, complemented by bus connections where needed. Most passenger train services originate or terminate at Helsinki Central Railway Station, and a large proportion of the passenger rail network radiates out of Helsinki. High-speed Pendolino services are operated from Helsinki to other major cities like Jyväskylä, Joensuu, Kuopio, Oulu, Tampere and Turku. Modern intercity services complement the Pendolino network, and cheaper and older long and short-distance trains operate in areas with fewer passengers. The Helsinki area has 3 urban rail systems, a tramway, a metro, and a commuter rail system. Light rail systems are currently being planned for Turku and Tampere, 2 of the country's other major urban centers. Trams and light rail. In Finland there have been 3 cities with trams: Helsinki, Turku and Viipuri. Only Helsinki has retained its tramway network. The Viborg tramway network ceased operations in 1957 after the city had been ceded to the Soviet Union, while the Turku tramway network shut down in 1972. As of 2010, Turku and Tampere have preliminary plans for new tram systems, but no decision to build them has been made. Helsinki currently operates 13 tram lines on a network of approximately 90 kilometers of track in passenger service. Nearly all of the network consists of double-track routes such that the route length is approximately half of total the track length. Around 200,000 passengers use the tram network each weekday, and within the inner city of Helsinki, trams have established a position as the main form of public transport. The system is being expanded expanded substantially in 2010 to 2015 to new residential areas, and, as of May 2010, the city is in the process of selecting among bids to deliver a series of 40 new trams, with an option for more air transport. There are 148 airfields, 76 of which have paved runways. 21 airports are served by scheduled passenger flights. By far the largest airport is Helsinki-Vantaa Airport, and the second largest by passenger volume is Oulu Airport. The larger airports are managed by the state-owned Finavia, Finnair, Flybe Nordic and Norwegian Air Shuttle are the main carriers for domestic flights. Helsinki-Vantaa Airport is Finland's global gateway with scheduled non-stop flights to such places as Bangkok, Beijing, Guangzhou, Nagoya, New York, Osaka, Shanghai, Hong Kong and Tokyo. Helsinki has an optimal location for Great Circle Airline traffic routes between Western Europe and the Far East. The airport is located approximately 19 kilometers north of Helsinki's downtown in the city of Vantaa, thus the name Helsinki-Vantaa. Other airports with regular scheduled international connections are Kokkola-Pietarsaari Airport, Mariehamn Airport, Tampere-Pigla Airport, Turku Airport and Vaasa Airport. Water transport. Frequent ferry service connects Finland with Estonia and Sweden. Baltic cruise liners regularly call on the port of Helsinki as well. In domestic service, ferries connect Finland's islands with the mainland. Finland's cargo ports move freight both for Finland's own needs and for transshipment to Russia. The Finnish Maritime Administration is responsible for the maintenance of Finland's waterway network. Finland's waterways include some 7,600 kilometers of coastal fairways and 7,900 kilometers of inland waterways. Saimaa Canal connects Lake Saimaa, and thus much of the inland waterway system of Finland, with the Baltic Sea at Vyborg. However, the lower part of the canal is currently located in Russia. To facilitate through shipping, Finland leases the Russian section of the canal from Russia.